review of the candidates for the position of Associate Justice, Vice Honorable Roberto A. Abad is hereby resumed. Your Honors, the candidates to be interviewed this afternoon are the following: Associate Justice Rosmari Carandang of the Court of Appeals, and Associate Justice Jose C. Reyes Jr., also of the Court of Appeals. May I request Associate Justice Reyes to proceed to the holding area while the JBC conducts the interview on Associate Justice Carandang.
Good morning, Justice Carandang. Good afternoon, Justice Carandang.
Good afternoon, Your Honors.
Okay, our record shows that we have interviewed you for the last time on October 23, 2012.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, and during that interview, you gave a statement, a brief statement about yourself. Do you want to add something to that statement which you have made?
There's nothing that I can add except that it lengthens my service to the judiciary by 1.5 years more.
Okay, that's good. So, in that case, Honorable Maria Milagros Fernan Cayosa will start the interview.
Thank you, Justice Lagman. Good afternoon, Justice Carandang.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, as mentioned by Justice Aglan, we extensively interviewed you for the same position, so I will just have a few questions. Justice Roberto Abad, before his retirement, actually submitted the revised, the proposed revision on the rules on civil procedure. May I know if you're familiar with any of those proposals?
I have read, but it's not really comprehensive. I was most interested in the subject on appeal. And in fact, I wanted to become an active participant of that committee. And then since it's not yet on the, it's still in the finalization stage, I wanted really to volunteer myself on that matter. Because I'd like that appeals process would be simplified in a sense that we will have to teach, we will have to require lawyers what matters must be really indicated in the appeal brief, because the matters indicated there are very general statements. I have my own way of particularizing what are the assignments of errors, what are the assignments of errors in fact and in law.
May I just take this opportunity to link, your answer as well as the question that was sent in by Twitter to us. Many of our lower courts violate Section 16, Article 8 of our Constitution, which is, if you recall, with respect to the speedy disposition of cases. While you are interested more in on the procedure involving the appellate courts, you have had 9 years of service as an RTC judge. What do you think is something that you would advocate for actively if you become a member of the court with respect to civil procedure or even criminal procedure in the trial courts?
Yes, thank you for hearing me on that. In fact, it has been my advocacy, and I've been questioning myself. Why is it that a simple ejectment case would still go up to the Supreme Court? Why is it that a simple writ of possession would still go up to the Supreme Court? In pure ejectment cases, ang dami-daming umaakit sa Supreme Court. And that way, I'm not saying wasting the time of the Supreme Court, because there are other major things that the Supreme Court should look into. So ang akin po, can I speak in Tagalog? So ang aking gusto sana, itong mga, these small claims, these small cases should be simplified, no? Kasi there are so many ways of lawyers crafting a simple case of it. No, it's actually a reconveyance case. They will make it an ejectment case. So I would like to propose that there must be parang stickler. These are the things. If this is a pure ejectment case, ito lang. It should be in this box. Because why do lawyers resort to that? Because the judgment in the ejectment case is executory. Unlike in recovery of possession in RDC, it's not executory. So we have to minimize the ingenuity of lawyers to tailor their case from a recovery of possession to a pure ejectment case.
How do you ensure that, despite the fact that you agree with the proposal to limit the, I believe, as stated in the revised rules of procedure, that they would limit the appeal to just one step?
Maybe siguro, ma'am, it can reach to us. So we adopt a 3-strike policy. Dumaan na sa MTC, dumaan na sa RTC, and then siguro sa Court of Appeals, done na yan. Because we will have to tailor an ejectment case to a purely ejectment case.
Thank you, Justice. Now, another topic that is close to my heart, having been a practitioner for more than 14 years, I was wondering what your thoughts are with respect to the liberalization of the free flow of services, including legal services, in the ASEAN region, which is slated to be implemented next year. First of all, do you think that the Philippines is now ready to take on foreign practitioners in the field of law? And while there are constitutional issues, do you think that we should really prepare for this and even go to the extent of causing an amendment in the Constitution?
I think we cannot avoid globalization, no? We cannot just compartmentalize our practice of law in the Philippines, locally, because our economic interaction goes beyond the borders of the country. If there is not a I am not saying that they can practice with us, but they can join. You know, we can share ideas, their practices in their own country, our practices, and maybe eventually we can do reciprocity arrangement from one country to another, or within the region. Maybe there is. If there is already step-by-step improvement of procedures, we can accredit lawyers within the ASEAN region, or maybe three countries, 4 countries, but only on, say, specific subjects like economics, because that's where we cross borders on mostly of these cases.
The Supreme Court possesses the exclusive prerogative to regulate the admission to the practice of law, and also, to a certain extent, to influence legal education in the Philippines, although that has now been transferred to the Legal Education Board. Since you have been a teacher, what would you propose to ensure that our future lawyers would be prepared for globalization? As you said, it's inevitable, and in order that we will not be left behind by our ASEAN neighbors.
Siguro we have to do it specialization, no? In other countries, they have specialized lawyers for criminal cases. So since this is an economic venture, I think we train our lawyers and we train their lawyers if they want to get into the pool of being economic lawyers, no, handling economic cases involving economic policies of several nations. I think there must be a special study for this and special pool of lawyers for this. Because we cannot be, hindi ko naman sinasabi na ikaw maiwan ka dyan, but if that is the specialization that they will venture into, they really have to equip themselves competitively and globally or regionally, if that's the case.
My final question.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that you are also studying ways of improving the procedure in the appellate court, when you took special interest in rules of civil procedure with respect to the appellate courts, what would you introduce if you become a member of the court that would help ensure not only the speedy disposition of cases in the appellate level, but also to ensure that there will be no integrity issues, especially in the issuances of temporary restraining orders, particularly in the Court of Appeals?
Integrity issue is something that is personal sa tao yun eh. So, and how we view the case and how we apply our knowledge of when a restraining order is available, when a restraining order is not available. If I would be lucky enough to become a member of the court, I think I can generate some lengthy discussions and lengthy on this matter, because I have been a trial court judge. I have been a long time appellate court judge for 12 years. So I think my experience can propel me to lead a fruitful discussions on this.
With that, Justice, I wish you luck. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Justice Lagman.
Okay. Honorable Jose Mejia will also ask you some questions.
Thank you, Justice Lagman. Good afternoon po,
Yes,
Justice
ma'am.
Carandang.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
The very few questions I have for you have actually been asked, considering that we have extensively interviewed you. But there are two questions that I will ask. One, well, the first question I would like to ask is, as an incumbent Associate Justice of the Court of Appeals, how would you evaluate the appellate court's conduct of the Zero Backlog Project? Some people are of the opinion that while it declogs the court's dockets, the initiative has resulted in the decline of the quality of written decisions. So what is your take on this?
I don't think so, because when we take, like for example me, I have no more, kung tutuusin walang backlog, no? Binibigay sa amin yun. Hindi naman yun ibinibigay sa mayroong maraming kaso. So it's for us to take, because we have already a lighter load. So it's not, for us, it's not, for me, it's not a way of, it did not diminish the value of our decisions, because nagpapalitan lang kami. Binibigay lang sa amin yung matatagal ng kaso na pwede namin desisyonan agad. And in return, bibigyan naman namin yung tao na nagbigay sa amin ng kaso na a case for completion, because wala na ako. I have no more backlog. So I can help. So hindi naman yung binibigyan yung ang kanyang caseload ay 500 eh. Hindi binibigyan yung ang kanyang caseload ay 300. At yung zero backlog is really an effort that we have to do throughout the court. Hindi po yun, it will not, for me, it will not, because I've been doing it. I've been doing it. So it did not reduce the quality of my work. It did not diminish the quality of my work.
The final question I would like to ask is from a tweeted question. I just asked one. And you may have answered this partially earlier, but let me ask it just the same. If appointed, what reforms would you want to introduce to the Supreme Court and to the judiciary?
It's not a new thing that we will have to do. It's the reform programs are there. These are good programs. Wala na siguro tayong bagong pwedeng ilagay, because hindi pa naman natin natatapos yung dati. So we'll just have to pabilisin. We have to expedite the completion of these reform programs. Kasi the reform programs laid by Chief Justice Davide, followed by Chief Justice Puno, Chief Justice Corona, and now Chief Justice Sereno, these are continuing naman eh. And these things pervades the whole needs of the judiciary, like case management, how to reduce integrity issues of the judges, how to educate judges, how to make our court facilities presentable, no? Because when it is presentable, judges would be ganado to do the work. no? So I think my contribution is just to actively participate in the completion of these reform programs that had already been started. Like for example, yung isang program ni Justice Sereno, yung pabago-bagong decision natin. Because in our system, we should have predictability in stability of principles. Yun, makakatulong ako doon. Because I can, sa lahat, kumbaga maraming decision yan, 100 of them conflicting or 50 of them conflicting. I as a judge and I as an appellate court justice can, and with my love for the law and with my love for the study of the law, I can help in that manner, because that's one of the things that is the promise of our Justice Sereno, to make our decisions predictable.
That will be all, and good luck again, Justice Carandang.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Laguna.
Okay, actually, I have no question for Justice Carandang. I know her for a very, very long time, since the time I was with the Court of Appeals, and I know her qualifications. I'm aware of that. So I will just ask you some questions from the Twitter. This is not my question, but this is a question which we received from the Twitter. How do you handle influence peddlers?
I have hindi ko bubuhatin ang aking bangko.
Okay, sige, buhatin
I
mo.
have because this is how is it? How is it is. Ako ay merong people look at me as a very strict judge. And probably that's one of the reasons. I have napaka-simple ng buhay ko. Ang pamilya ko wala dito. Ang mga kapatid ko nasa Amerika. My friends are just nasa daliri ko lang, mabibilang lang natin ang daliri. So I choose friends who will not, and have chosen friends who will not influence me. So I insulate myself from that kind of an environment.
So you should,
My reputation, sabi nga nila, my reputation precedes me. Hindi daw ako madaling lapitan. At hindi daw ako nalalapitan.
okay.
So that's how I project myself. And I think I have projected myself all the way from my being a judge and up to now as an appellate court justice.
So you do not have any problem with influence peddlers?
No.
Okay, good. There is also another question. We received this question from Pauline Tamaray. What are your thoughts on the decriminalization of libel in relation to the Supreme Court's Administrative Circular Number 8, 2008?
My personal view is we still have to have libel law. Because that will prevent people, kung wala tayong libel law, siraan lang tayo ng siraan. And tayo, may culture tayong ganon. So if there is a libel law, for me, libel law is not an infringement of the free speech. Because a libelous remark is criminal. A libelous remark is done in bad faith. So there must be, for me, I would still want the libel law to stay in the books. Because for me, it's not an infringement of the right to free speech. Sabi nga nila, hindi naman lahat pwedeng sabihin. Pwede ko bang sabihin, ikaw magnanakaw ka, ikaw, you are a thief. We have no liberty of saying that.
That's good. On that note, Justice Carandang, I have no more question, and I wish you luck.
Thank you, Your Honors.
Good luck. Good luck.
It's God's will.
Yeah,
If these things will be done.
Yes, I will be done.
Thank you po.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to have interacted with you again.
Okay.
Your Honors, next to be interviewed is Associate Justice Jose C. Reyes Jr., also from the Court of Appeals.
Good afternoon, Justice Joey Reyes.
Good afternoon, Your Honors.
Okay. Our record shows that we have interviewed you on November 6, 2009, May 20, 2011, and the last time was on October 25, 2012. And in all those occasions, you gave a brief statement about yourself. Do you want to give an additional statement for the record?
Just briefly, Your Honors,
Yes.
I now serve as chairperson of the 8th Division, and that means rank-wise, I am now number 8 in the order of seniority. And likewise, in line with the zero backlog project of the court, somehow I have managed to reduce the cases that have been submitted for decision. As of April 30, 2014, last month, I have about 16 cases submitted for decision, and these are current cases. Although as of December, in the report that I have submitted, I have, I think, about over 24 cases. And I have just been, insofar as my service in the Philippine Judicial Academy, I was given another 2-year appointment as member of the Corps of Professors of the Philippine Judicial Academy. Now, I've been in the Court of Appeals for 11 years, since my appointment in 2003. And all in all, I've been in the judiciary, as far as judgeship is concerned. I've been serving for about 27 years, including my stint in the trial court and in the Court of Appeals. I've also been teaching part-time in the De La Salle University in the College of Business and Economics, and for the last 35 years, and in the College of Law of the same school for about almost 3 years. That is all.
Thank you. Honorable Maria Milagros Fernan Cayosa will ask you some questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Justice Lingman. Good afternoon, Justice Reyes. We have interviewed you before, so we just have a few questions, actually. Now, I'm also curious as regards the implementation next year of the liberalization of the free flow of services in the ASEAN region. What are your thoughts on the preparedness of the legal profession in the Philippines with respect to the possibility of foreign lawyers engaging in the practice of law, and how do you think we should address this if you are in the Supreme Court?
Your Honors, for as long as we have sufficient parameters in allowing our foreign lawyers to practice here, I believe I don't have any serious objection. The current trend now, Your Honor, is that even in other professions other than lawyers, there has been a reciprocity agreement, not only in other professions other than law, of course. That seems to be the trend now. We have actually, I participated in the processing of nominees for outstanding professionals sponsored by the PRC, and I have noted that in many professions there is now a reciprocity practice. Then, if that is the trend, perhaps we can possibly allow that in our country. As in fact, in New York, we all know that lawyers, Filipino lawyers, can practice law in New York without having to take the exams. So similarly, Your Honor, you know, our world is expanding. Legal issues are becoming complex, requiring opinions from all quarters, including foreign lawyers. I believe, Your Honor, for as long as there is enough limitations, well-defined parameters, then we can allow a limited, probably initially a limited access of foreign lawyers to practice in our country.
Well, you mentioned that you are currently teaching at the De La Salle College of Business.
College of Business and Economics.
And Economics.
We handle legal management.
But you also lecture for MCLE, I suppose?
In Philja, Your Honor.
Yes, in Philja.
In Philja.
And from your experience in dealing with our lawyers, how prepared are we for globalization and the exchange, a free flow of the professions, especially in the legal profession? Has the Philja or any agency introduced any preparedness, way to prepare our lawyers for that eventuality?
Your Honor, we have so many good lawyers in our country, young and the more seasoned lawyers. I believe we can give them a decent competition, meaning if we recognize foreigners to come, I believe that we can have a decent, not really competition, but an exchange of views and opinions. I am not aware if Philja has been conducting sessions along this line, but what I know is that there is an ongoing, for lawyers in government, lawyers in the Court of Appeals, in the Supreme Court, there's an ongoing training, enhancement program for lawyers of our courts. Now, but as far as lawyers from the outside, Philja has been preparing also our lawyers, like the pre-judicature program. We have a very effective course in that respect. This is a 2-week program. And I have noticed, because I've lectured so many times in these pre-judicature programs, that we have very good lawyers and good materials even for judgeship. So I believe that well, Philja is in the right direction, in so far as helping our, especially the young lawyers, yours, because those who attend the pre-judicature programs are the younger ones. And I think they are they're very promising. These are promising lawyers coming in and participating in the pre-jud, especially so that the pre-judicature program has a 3-in-1 component, Your Honor. A lawyer who takes the pre-jud program will earn about 15 units of master's degree, and second, it qualifies you to apply for judgeship, and third, there is an MCLE compliant portion. So all of these, Your Honors, I believe we are giving our lawyers the right training, and it may not be sufficient for now, but at least that is a good start, a basic step, Your Honor.
There is a requirement for ethics as a subject in MCLE. Do you think that the number of units that is made as a requirement for MCLE is sufficient in ensuring that we are able to instill a higher ethical standard for our lawyers and even for our judges and court lawyers?
Personally, Your Honor, we need to add more units. I think we should be law schools, review centers, or MCLE centers should be really very aggressive in addressing problems on ethical values. So I believe that we should put more premium on subjects that deal with legal as well as judicial ethics. In law schools, there is a need to really be to give more importance to legal and judicial ethics, because many times we take for granted legal ethics and judicial ethics. So I believe that we should add more units to our MCLE courses. And not only that, Your Honor, I think even in law schools, as a matter of fact, in law schools we only have about 3 units of legal and judicial ethics. My suggestion is we can separate legal and judicial ethics and give 3 units to legal and another 3 units for judicial ethics, for judicial study of the judicial code. So I think there is a need to add more units, more exposure, more subjects dealing with ethical values and even values formation, Your Honor.
Thank you, Justice Reyes. That was my last question.
Thank you,
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Lacan.
Okay. Honorable Sebi May will also ask some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Justice Lagman. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is the third time that we are interviewing you, and I only have very few questions. You mentioned in your PDS that you are a lay minister in your parish, and you are also a chapter head of the Couples for Christ. What, in your opinion, should be the role of religion in the role of a judge or a justice or a magistrate in the exercise of his function as such?
You know, religion has some kind of a calming effect on the person, because I have experienced that by myself. And my involvement in different religious activities has really helped me in so far as maintaining my integrity, maintaining the honor and respect given to judges and justices. Religion has become my shield against, so to speak, shield against temptations, shield against corruption, and shield against even laziness in work. In other words, a God-fearing person who has great faith in God will be able to work effectively as a judge and even as a lawyer, because we owe everything to God. And so I believe that if more and more judges and even people in government will have great faith in God, then I'm sure we will go a long way in slowly eradicating or preventing anomalies in government.
In your application letter, Justice Reyes, you committed to bring with you significant contributions to, among other things, efficiency. Should you be appointed as the next Supreme Court Associate Justice, can you be more concrete and specific on how you can contribute to the efficiency of the court?
It's basically, Your Honor, my work ethic, meaning coming to work regularly and early, and devoting my time in adjudication of cases. I usually concentrate, Your Honor, in maintaining the quality of my decisions. I have with me, we have assistants in the Court of Appeals. We have good lawyers assisting us in our researches. So the wealth of experience that I have gained as a Court of Appeals Justice, having been working there for 11 years, and the wisdom that I have earned or gained, and my experience also in trial work, having been a trial judge for 16 years as Metro TC and RTC judge. See, all of this wealth of knowledge, experience, and even perhaps wisdom can help me perform my work in the highest court of the land effectively. And of course, Your Honor, as I had mentioned earlier, I've been also in the academy. Perhaps my experience, the knowledge that I have gained from the academy will also help me to be able to contribute to an effective court work in the Court of Appeals, in the Supreme Court.
I understand, Justice Reyes, that you were the examiner for legal ethics in the recently concluded bar examination. If the bar examination, if the results of the bar examination which you conducted in legal ethics is to be a gauge, what is your general assessment of the, should we say, state of the knowledge or maybe the competence of candidates for the bar in terms of their training in legal ethics?
Your Honor, I can only speak of legal ethics. Now, from my own observation, Your Honor, the bar examination is an English examination with legal basis. From my observation, there is a need for law students to improve in the English proficiency, and that includes English grammar. A lot of examiners have problems with grammar. And secondly, there is a need really to be aggressive in the study of the code of professional responsibility, as well as the conduct, the new code of judicial conduct. I think we should put more premium. Law schools should put more premium in ethics. The problem is sometimes law students take legal ethics for granted. After all, it has only a 5-unit weight in the bar exams. But I think we should go beyond just passing the bar exams or passing or graduating from law school. It's the contribution, really. It is what will ethics make a person. Meaning, if you study law, you take up ethics, it's not only for the purpose of passing, but you want to become a better person. an ethical person at that, an ethical lawyer at that. So if you study the code of professional responsibilities sincerely, no, then it goes into the making of an individual. It helps in the development of the character of the individual. In other words, law students should try to live out the canons of professional ethics, including judicial ethics. It should be part of our lives. Hindi lang yung just want to pass the subject, but we should really make it part of our lives. And if it becomes a part of our way of life, then I'm sure we will have many ethical lawyers and ethical citizens of the country. So my point here is, it's not only we have to put premium on ethics, not because we want to become good lawyers, but we want to become good citizens of the country. That's what I mean by, you have to try to live out. Isabuhay natin yung the ethics, ethical issues, the different codes that we have to study. We have to really try to understand all of this.
Thank you, Justice Reyes, and good luck. Thank you, Justice Ligman. That was my final question.
Okay. In my case, as I have stated earlier, we have interviewed Justice Reyes since 2009, 2011, and 2012 in connection with his application for the post of Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. And he was nominated twice in 2011 and 2012.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And this coupled with the fact that I really have known Justice Reyes for a long time since I was with the Court of Appeals, I find no reason to further question him on his qualifications. However, we received some questions from the Twitter, and I will ask it. I will ask some of them, no? So, if you will be nominated and appointed as a member of the highest court of the land, what reforms would you introduce to address the problem of corruption allegedly committed by some members of the court and the members of the judiciary in general?
Your Honor, I believe we have enough reforms introduced during the time of former Chief Justice Davide. And we only need to have a series of, plans of action. So, one important point I would like to take up is, would like to suggest as a plan of action is to have a series of seminars, on values formation and ethical values. As I've said, we should be more aggressive in addressing the ethical issues. As a matter of fact, I have many times suggested to the Philippine Judicial Academy that in every seminar or enhancement program that the PhilJA sponsors, we should have something about building up of good values. It's just like going back to yun hong ating right manner and good conduct. Meaning it's never too late for us to go back to our basic values, Your Honor. And I think this is, and the problem of corruption is not just in the judiciary, Your Honor, but it's society in general. So I think bababaho tayo dun sa grade school and high school. Now, in our courts, we lack so much courses or subjects on values formation. That is the reason why, Your Honor, in the Court of Appeals, we sponsor masses, hoping that by attending masses, we will become closer to God and we become God-fearing, and somehow that will serve as a check on our actuations.
The Twitter from a certain Rowell, no? Because we also consider the questions which we receive from the Twitter. The question is, Justice Reyes, how do you deal with influence peddlers?
Influence
Peddlers.
peddlers, meaning those coming to
Yes,
court,
as an
approaching
Associate
us.
Justice of the Court of Appeals, how do you deal with influence peddlers?
If we cannot stop them from coming to our office,
your office,
we talk to them and tell them that we decide on cases according to merits. I cannot allow myself to be influenced, as I have been doing that in the Court of Appeals. We don't really know sometimes who these people are, because they just come to you and tell you about their cases. Now, it would also be rude for one to just drive them away right away. It's because sometimes they are your friends. So we just tell them that, well, we decide our cases on the basis of the records and the basis of the evidence. So that is the treatment that I observe. Tell them in a nice way that, we have no choice but to decide on the merits. And it has proven to be a good attitude. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends have shied away from me.
Okay. On that note, Justice Reyes, I have no more question, and I wish you luck.
Okay.
This time, I wish you luck.
Thank you, Your Honors, and have a pleasant afternoon.
You have been nominated twice already for the same position, and this time, I wish you luck.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you. The public interview will resume tomorrow at 9 a.m.